Welcome everybody. Today we will show you how Circularise is trying to make the supply chain more circular. We are Petrula, Marwa, Sujit and Lars of Group 4. We will talk about our sustainable business analysis of Circularise using the following. First, we will start with the background information, then the opportunity canvas, the dynamic business model canvas, the value proposition canvas, the company growth stages, the niche strategies, the beachhead market, and finally the corporate enterprise. But first, something about Circularise. The company was founded by Mespa and Jordi in 2016 from out the master thesis at the TU Delft. Their main goal was to make the economy more circular with information sharing using blockchain. Over the last couple of years, they have developed blockchain software which enables brand owners and manufacturers to get more insights in the materials they use and buy in the supply chain, eventually leading to better material usage and recycling. Blockchain is used to keep the information being shared in a disclosed way. To start businesses, entrepreneurs like Mespa and Jordi have to think, see and act as entrepreneurs. First, the founders showed a high need for achievement. They wanted to create more transparency and make the society more sustainable. Second, they have developed a rich social capital by attending a lot of pitch competitions and business fairs. To see entrepreneurially, they identify a macroeconomic change that is the high need for sustainability, as governments enforce companies to be more sustainable and consumers are also demanding their products to be good for planet Earth. Their product can be applied in many different markets and not just the plastic market that they first landed in. Finally, they act entrepreneurially by acting upon opportunities such as sustainability and the lack of information sharing in the supply chain. They created values by enabling transparent information sharing and making the material selection more efficient. Now, Marwan will tell something more about the dynamic business model of Circularise.
Thank you, Lars. To describe the dynamic business model canvas, the different phases of the business model canvas are defined. Each phase represents a certain stage of the canvas. In the following 3 slides, an overview of the past, the current, and the future canvas will be illustrated and discussed to describe the different phases. Over the first years of Circularize's existence, its business model changed. The current canvas shows that Circularise has a clearly defined revenue stream and cost structure. However, they are still learning with their customers and their customer segments are still very broad described. In yellow, we can see the changes between the current canvas and the past one. If we then look into the past canvas, we can see that the company was more aligned on academic backup, such as contests, funding, and resources. Also, they were more focused on e-waste rather than the plastic industry. Furthermore, it shows that their revenue streams are still not well defined and their key partners are still limited. For the future canvas, the differences are highlighted in blue. For this part, we made some assumptions. We can firstly see that the key partners and the customer segments of Circularise are clearly determined and defined. Moreover, it can be seen that the new automation technology, such as AI, is introduced into the system. Finally, it can be observed that cryptocurrency could be a possible addition to the payment system, since it's also based on blockchain technology. Now Petrula will continue with the value proposition canvas.
Thank you, Marwan. So Circularise value proposition is to provide information and transparency in information regarding manufacturing and materials handling and usage to all the actors at various stages of the supply chain sector. So a template that it was used to fill in the value proposition canvas is shown on the slide. And what we can see is actually the generation of the values and benefits that are created in favor of the end user. And also this graph gives us an illustration of the product that the company created and all the related services. Moreover, on the right side, we can see clearly the problem that is being solved through the software that is the product of Circularise and various benefits for clients. Continuing with the growth phases, Circularise, as well as all disruptive technologies, have to go through 5 different growth stages. These are research, opportunity framing, pre-organization, reorientation, and sustainable return. Circularise currently is going through the reorientation stage as the team of the top management team of the company have realized that the same technology and software can be applied in different industries and sectors, and not only in plastics industry or in waste handling as it was the initial idea. The sustainable return phase has not been reached yet by Circularise. As far as the first 3 growth stages, Circularise started from research, and that included the approaching of different manufacturing and information selection. Then the company went to opportunity framing, and Yes Delft initiative was really helpful back then through the multiple business fairs that helped Circularise to validate the original idea, turn it into business with coming in contact with experts and investors. And of course, the pre-organization phase, that was the phase that Circularise entered back then at the beginning of 2020, and it was the time that they suggested a pilot software. Now we will continue with Sujit.
Thank you, Petrula. So we'll now look at some of the strategies that Circularise can apply to go into the market stabilization phase. The first one is demo, experiment, and develop new strategies, where Circularise can work with many companies to adopt their product to that specific industry. The second strategy could be educate new strategy, where the company can try to educate the clients and customers about the blockchain technology and circularity in general, as there's currently a lack of it. The third one is the geographic niche strategy, where Circularise can choose specific locations where there is high demand for circular and recyclable materials. Moving on, first market that any company tries to validate their product and launch to other markets with successfully capturing this market is the beachhead market. And for Circularise, it's the plastics industry. The reason for this is there's high demand. It's highly dependent on fossil fuel derivatives. There's high demand for material tracing in this industry. And there's also a very diverse industry where there are multiple players. So it gives many opportunities for Circularise to experiment and develop the product. Moving on, partnerships are critical for the relevance and long-term sustainability of any company. Circularise has been successful in forming many partnerships, particularly 3 I'm going to take you through. First one is Marubeni Corporation, which is a giant in the Asian market, and they were able to trace chemicals and plastics for the company. Second one is a piloting project with Domo and Covistro, where they were able to trace plastics and other polymers. Last one is the automotive giant Porsche, where they were able to trace materials in the automotive supply chain of the company. In conclusion, the future looks bright for Circularise as the world is gearing up for a circular revolution in materials. We are now open for questions. Go ahead and shoot them at us. Thank you.